walk out for your teachers. Walk out for the budget cuts.
There will be.
I think I should be recording what he's saying. To wear those boots. I know, wait, can you say you're like, I want to do my boots for like the I like the library. Dedication.
They're going to go in those.
But as things are heading right now, the SUNY education system is heading towards privatization. They're taking away resources and education that kids need, and this is the only way we have to do it. We have an affordable schooling system as it is right now. If these budget cuts go through, we won't. This is why we're here, to take back the education that the government has taken from us.
I think it's important because a lot of students always complain about things that happen in school, and we finally are getting a chance to represent and to have our own say and to really come out and support the school system and support each other and support SUNY New Paltz. And I really think it's important that we get the message across because they keep cutting off our education, not thinking that we are the future of America. So.
Basically, it's important because this room is filled with capacity and the energy that the people have in this room. Take it to legislative companies. They have to listen to us. Like, we don't understand the importance of our voice.
This is amazing. This is the most beautiful thing I've seen since Obama got elected. Honestly, this is inside, so like, this is something that, if you think that your voice doesn't matter, there's 1,000, like, it's not 1,000 people, but it's a lot of people, and it feels like 1,000, and if y'all all come together, that's a huge voice. So I want y'all to do me a favor. I want you to imagine if there was a war, something worth fighting for, but nobody came, because everyone felt that their presence was worthless and decided to watch from their windows. Now, imagine thousands, no. Imagine millions standing together to say we will fight. We will not be taken advantage of because we believe in something greater than ourselves and are prepared to stand up for what is right. Even on a battlefield, that collective voice could fold the most vast army with a little whisper. Now imagine every soldier was a student and our war was on your education. Imagine your class size being doubled and your professors so overwhelmed with students that you can't even go to his office hours. Imagine being a freshman unable to take a class for your major because that major has been cut. Imagine your favorite professor, you know, the one that changed your life, that gave you that passion and drive, being cut because they're an adjunct. Imagine how we have the chance to do something, anything, and we remain silent. Throughout history, students have been the catalyst for revolution. We have the power to fight for our education. and we are being presented with the opportunity to do so. The responsibility lies with us to make sure our education is a priority. So today, March 8th, we stood up, we walked out, we are here. We walked out on this assault on the quality of our learning. This teach-in is being held to expand our awareness of the budget deficits and what we can do to save SUNY, yes, but also to know what we can do to come together and understand that our voice is powerful. Our voice is loud.
Discussions. Do not count on us to be your educators. We are all our educators. And we are here now because I know that I never get the chance to communicate with more than half of the people in this room. So this is a beautiful time for us to come together.
As students, we have a voice, and I'm just sick of seeing people not using their voice. And I feel that using myself, I suppose, as like an example, that like I could just show that people that like if you do care, like things can get done. So.
We all come together and hold hands for a day, but what are we going to do after that? Why is this so important? Why is it so important to the individual? That is the point of this gathering right now. Because you want to make it realize that this is going to affect you as an individual. Not just, oh, somebody far away, you know, maybe my friend or somebody, but I'll be all right. No, this will affect you. This is what this is about. We want to make this personal for you. Because if it's something personal to you, obviously you're going to commit more to it. Obviously you're going to want to fight for it. If someone hits you in the face, you're going to want to hit them back. If you see someone else get hit in the face, you'd be like, oh, that's a shame, right? But when you get hit in the face, when it's money coming out of your pocket, when it's your classrooms that you see all of a sudden go from 20 students to 40, when all of a sudden you can't see your teacher during office hours because one, maybe your teacher just got fired, or two, they can't pay him for office hours. What?
Honestly, like it was extremely informative. My eyes were most definitely open compared to like what like the heart of the situation is. I guess the fact that I didn't realize that like 50% or 50% of so many subjects, like 50% of the adjuncts would be cut, and literally some of the best teachers I've had here have been adjuncts in the English department who aren't going to be here next year. Not to mention an amazing professor named Lila Latson, who's going to be fired at the end of this year or at the end of the semester because we don't have enough money to fund anthropology anymore or her certain subjects. Not to mention that so much of the budget goes to our funding overseas wars, and I think the statistic was that 3.5 billion goes towards education, while 400 billion goes towards international or goes towards defense budget, which is just like a tiny little portion of that would do so much in education, even K through 12 education. And recently before this, actually all my education professors have been very adamant about the current cuts going on in K through 12, because right now 2,300 teachers are about to get cut in the city, which means open class size, which means that the kids who actually need education aren't going to get it, which further perpetuates the exact same cycle in a downward spiral, which goes and goes and goes, and to the point where there's no end.
So what do you think about the student body and what they can do to change it?
Oh, I think we have enormous amount. If we just actually, or if we gather if we gather together and unite and have a single voice that can be heard. I mean, literally, there was 800 kids. Imagine there was 800 kids, not to mention the student body of every other SUNY college gathers in Albany next week. We can be heard. We can actually leave a lasting impact, a voice that won't just be disregarded, because we are the future of this state. We are the future of this country. We have the power to do whatever we want. We just have to actually believe in ourselves and believe in the power that we have as a collective.
Years that I've been here, students mostly get involved in a lot of cultural things, and there's a lot of problems that are going on in our country, and especially with the young students that go to New Paltz. And I think it's more important to get involved politically now, especially when these budget cuts are more serious than ever before. Really, there's too often we depend on leaders. That's why I feel like a lot of students don't vote, and they don't realize the potential that they have. They don't realize that most movements start off with students, and we're really trying to start a movement. We want to get most of the students here at New Paltz involved, and eventually get all the SUNYs involved. And when we get past that, we want to go to CUNYs, to high schools, to teachers, and really want to make it a national thing. It's something that we think is a crisis that's going on, and it needs to be handled immediately.
And what are some of the things that you guys have all plans on talking about to students that they wouldn't know about the budget, like how it's affecting them? What are the things that you think that they're not aware of?
We have 4 workshops going on right now, and one of them is the big picture. The second is the bigger picture. So the big picture is what's going on in New Paltz. The second is what's going on more nationally and what's going on in the state, which is something that I was just kind of talking about right now. Besides that, though, we're really trying to teach people about how to do outreach, so how to get the word out even when you're like at home in the city, Long Island, upstate. Also, how to communicate effectively. So if you're lobbying, don't like be too aggressive and say, "Oh, I'm a voter," and like threaten them. Like really just be honest and really try and explain how it affects you and that it's an issue. So there's not enough student representation, not a lot of student activism that goes on, and we really want to make it more accessible to students and really get more people involved.
How is the budget affecting us?
Class sizes are getting increased, teachers are getting fired, resources are getting lost, and our brothers and sisters are going to have a harder time than we ever had.
I think it's important because no matter what year you are, even if you've already graduated, the only way our country is going to continue to succeed, as people say it's been doing, is if we're well educated. And if education is constantly the first thing to get cut, we're just going to become less and less educated, less informed, and we're definitely not going to hold our #1 spot as a country. And even past that, I think like on a personal level for me, all of the programs that I'm involved in, like women's studies and the honors program, those are going to be the first to get cut, and then that would leave me with less of a major, less knowledge, less like passion for what I want to do.
Is there anything that you learned today that you hadn't known previously?
Yes, pretty much everything actually. I do my best to stay out of political stuff. I get very easily overwhelmed and frustrated, especially by things I feel like I don't have a lot of control over. But when I saw this event being created and how even though we don't have much control or people don't want us to have control, we're trying to take control back, it really inspired me to become part of it. And I literally know nothing about like our legislation. I don't know who's like in charge of what, and I think it's time for me to like learn about it and try to fight back and work with people to make things right, because it's wrong. It's just wrong that I might not be able to graduate with all the majors I started with. I think that's ridiculous.
I feel like there's a lot of power in numbers, and there's nothing more empowering than being around your peers and fighting for what you believe in. Everything that we're fighting for today affects us, affects future students, everything from capsizing our tuition increase, our class sizes, cutting adjunct faculty. Like, this is our life, our clubs, our organizations. We can't afford to lose out on this. And if we don't fight for it now, who else is going to do it for us?
And what did you think overall about the overall outcome?
I feel like this was a really good outcome. I agree with what was said. Everyone here knows someone that doesn't care or feels that it's not important to come, but everyone in this room, if you just educate yourselves and educate one other person, it's just spreading the word, spreading the knowledge, educating yourself, educating others, and I feel like it's a really good outcome. I feel like after today, people are going to come out and take what they've learned with them.
All right, well, thank you for those